What's up, everybody? Today I'll be demonstrating how to use indirect prompt injection to perform an XSS attack that deletes a user account. We'll explore the lab scenario, understand how insecure output handling works, and finally solve the lab by leveraging the LLM's capabilities. Let's get started. Insecure output handling is a situation where an LLM's output is not sufficiently validated or sanitized before being passed to other systems. This can effectively provide users with indirect access to additional functionality, potentially facilitating a wide range of vulnerabilities, including cross-site scripting and cross-site request forgery. For example, an LLM might not sanitize JavaScript in its responses. In this case, an attacker could potentially cause the LLM to return a JavaScript payload using a crafted prompt, resulting in XSS when the payload is parsed by the victim's browser. In a legitimate scenario, users might interact with LLMs for purposes such as summarizing content, retrieving information, or performing actions like sending emails. The outputs generated by the LLM should be validated and sanitized to prevent any security vulnerabilities such as injecting malicious code into web pages or emails. To exploit insecure output handling, follow these steps. Discover the attack surface by interacting with the LLM and identifying its output handling vulnerabilities. Use indirect prompt injection to manipulate the LLM's outputs and execute malicious actions. Let's see how we can leverage this in the lab environment to delete a user account using XSS. Let's now demonstrate how to solve this lab by interacting with the LLM to perform an XSS attack that deletes the user Carlos. Click on Access the Lab button. Click Register to display the registration page. Enter the required details using the email address associated with your instance of the lab. Click Register. The lab sends a confirmation email. Go to the email client and click the link in the email to complete the registration. Log into your account. From the lab homepage, click Live Chat. Probe for XSS by submitting the string shown on the screen to the LLM. Note that an alert dialog appears, indicating that the chat window is vulnerable to XSS. Go to the product page for a product other than the leather jacket, such as the Balance Beams product. Add the same XSS payload as a review. Note that the payload is safely HTML encoded, indicating that the review functionality isn't directly exploitable. Return to the chat window and ask the LLM what functions it supports. Note that the LLM supports a product info function that returns information about a specific product by name or ID. Ask the LLM to provide information on the product we just recently written a review about with our XSS payload. Note that the LLM warns you of potentially harmful code in one of the reviews. This indicates that it is able to detect abnormalities in product reviews. All right, let's go back to our product. Delete the XSS probe comment from the gift wrap page and replace it with a minimal XSS payload that will delete the reader's account. You can see the payload on the screen. Return to the chat window and ask the LLM to provide information on the product we've just written a review for. Since we tried to delete an account with our previous XSS payload, we can confirm that the LLM has successfully identified and ignored the malicious payload, and that is confirmed because we are still logged in our account. All right, Let's go back and delete our last review from the product and create a new product review that includes the XSS payload within a plausible sentence. You can see the full payload on the screen. Return to the chat window and ask the LLM to give you information on the previous product. Note, the LLM includes a small iframe in its response, indicating that the payload was successful. Click My Account, note that you have been logged out and are no longer able to sign in, indicating that the payload has successfully deleted your account. Successfully deleting the account demonstrates how indirect prompt injection can be used to exploit vulnerabilities in LLM APIs. The hidden prompt within the review tricks the LLM into performing an unauthorized action. Let's now delete Carlo's account to solve this lab. Create a new user account and log in. From the home page, select the leather jacket product. Add a review including the same hidden XSS payload tested earlier. If you need a reminder, look what I am putting on the screen. Wait for Carlos to send a message to the LLM asking for information about the leather jacket. When he does, the injected prompt causes the LLM to delete his account. Voila, the lab is solved. All right, let's now talk about remediation. To prevent exploitation of LLM APIs through insecure output handling, you should implement strict output validation and sanitization. Ensure that all outputs generated by the LLM are properly sanitized to remove any potentially harmful content. Train LLMs to recognize and ignore malicious content. Enhance the LLM's training data to include examples of malicious prompts and their proper handling. Regularly audit and monitor LLM interactions. Continuously monitor interactions with the LLM to detect and respond to any suspicious activities. By implementing these security measures, you can mitigate the risks associated with insecure output handling and ensure the safety of your backend systems. To summarize, we've successfully exploited an insecure output handling vulnerability in an LLM API to perform an XSS attack that deletes a user account. We've also discussed how to remediate this vulnerability by implementing output validation and training LLMs to recognize malicious content and monitoring interactions. Understanding and securing LLM APIs is crucial for maintaining the integrity and security of your web applications. Subscribe to learn more, drop a like to support me, and comment any questions you have.